Hey everyone, my name is Digital Girl, and today I'll be creating a weekly email newsletter using Mailchimp. If you run a website or a blog, setting up a weekly email newsletter is a great way to send out your latest content to your most loyal and engaged audience members. Now, before we get started, be sure to subscribe for more Mailchimp tutorials, as well as digital marketing and e-commerce related videos. Alright, so once you're logged into Mailchimp, head on up to the left-hand corner and click on the campaigns icon. And from there, we're going to go ahead and click on email templates. And as you can see, this will be our first email template within this account. Let's head on up to create template. And from there, you'll see a bunch of different options. We've got layouts, themes, and code your own. And for this example, I'm going to go ahead and choose one of the featured layouts here. So once you find one that you'd like to use, go ahead and click on it. And once it's done populating, we can go ahead and start inputting all of our content. So as we go through this, we're essentially just going to go from top to bottom, starting with the logo, and I'm also going to put a background image in the header. So let's go ahead and do the logo first. We're going to click on the edit button and then replace it with our own logo. To do that, we're going to head on up to the upload button here. So now we have our logo in place. If you'd like, you can go ahead and play around with the size of the logo. And Mailchimp is also telling us that it's a rather large file. This can lead to slow load times, so if you've got a pretty large image, that's okay. We can go ahead and fix it right inside of Mailchimp. And Mailchimp suggests that we make it somewhere between 800 and 1200 pixels wide. So we can actually make this a bit smaller even. Once we're done, we'll go ahead and click on Save in the top right. And you'll notice that that error message now disappears. Next, we're going to go ahead and put something behind the logo. As you can see here, it's rather hard to read with it being the white on the very, very light gray. Now you do have the option to put a color background in place if you'd like. Or we can go ahead and insert an image, which is what I'm going to do in this case. Again, we'll head on up to Upload. And there we have it. We've got the background image in place. If you'd like, you can make a few alterations to the background image here. You can make it a little more narrow. You can also click on the Fill button over here. And of course, the first option looked quite a bit better. So we'll just head on back to that one there. So if we're happy with how it looks and we're okay with the logo size, we can go ahead and click on the Save and Close button down at the bottom. So if we head on down to the body of our email here, we can start to populate it with all of our content from our website or our blog. When we create our weekly email newsletters, it's important to think about what will bring our readers the most value. And for a website like NFT Sweep, that will include things like event dates from the NFT calendar, the latest blog posts, and the latest or most relevant piece of educational content. So let's go ahead and start plugging all of those things in. So the first thing I'm going to do is edit the top title here. And to do that, we're going to click on the Edit button. So I'll go ahead and start editing the text over here. You do also have the option to view the code as well if you'd rather edit it that way. Now I would actually like to remove this line altogether. So I'll go ahead and click on it and then just delete it. And as you can see, that kind of messes around with the formatting a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the title here and then click on the Styles drop down. From there, we can go ahead and click on a style that we like. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to a centered alignment. Once we're done editing the text, we'll go ahead and click on the Save and Close button. Now that I've added a title, I'm going to start using the blocks over on the right-hand side to build out the layout of the email. To start, I'm going to start adding key dates from the website's calendar, and to do that, I would like to use both image and text for each event. So we're going to go ahead and click on the block and simply drag and drop it over to the email. Now this is a rather large image for just one event, so I'm going to head on over to Settings, and then change it to 2 images. As you can see, you can also play around with the image position. But in this case, I'm going to leave the image at the top. Next, we'll go ahead and replace the images and text by clicking on the Content tab up here. And here we have column 1 and column 2. And of course, they both need replacing. Now, really quickly, because this is an email template, you could technically just populate it with dummy content and placeholder images, but I'm going to go ahead and fill it with content that will be sent out in the first newsletter. That way it'll give me a better idea as to what this will look like once it's filled up. And when I go to send out the first email campaign, everything will be in place and ready to go. All right, so let's go ahead and upload our first image. Next, we'll go ahead and edit the text. I would also like to center the text and make it bold as well. Actually, I take that back. I think I like it better without the bold. Okay, next we're going to go up to the second column here and do the same thing. We'll add our image and update the text. I'm also going to add dates to these events, along with a link that will take users over to the website to find out more information. And I'm actually going to make the date bold. And then I'm going to add a link to the image by clicking on Link. From there, go ahead and enter your link, and then simply click on Insert. We'll go ahead and do the same for the second image there. So again, let's go ahead and add the date. And I'm going to go ahead and make it bold as well. Now you can click the icon, or you can simply hit Command B or Control B like you do in many other applications. Next, we'll go ahead and do the link. Go ahead and hit Insert. And now you've got 2 events that are clickable and that take you over to the website for more info. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more events to the email, seeing as how events is one of the most important things that I believe people will be coming to search for. So let's go ahead and save and close these first 2 here. And instead of dragging and dropping the image text block, we can go ahead and simply duplicate the existing one. So when you hover over it, click on the Duplicate Block button. And now you've got the layout that you want. You just have to swap out the content. And to save yourself time in the long run, try to use the same images that are already created on the website. That way you won't have to resize the images twice. You can actually just use the same set of images for both the website as well as your email campaigns. Again, we'll go ahead and add our link, hit Insert, and then do the same thing for the other event here. So I'm just going to change the information here. And last but not least, we'll update the link. All right, so we've got the first section of the email completed, which is the 4 featured events that we're going to showcase from the calendar found on the website. So we'll go ahead and click on Save and Close. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like in the email itself. So whenever you want to test the email as you're working on it, You can go ahead and preview and test up here in the right-hand corner. You can enter preview mode, which is what we're going to do now, or you can send out a test email if you'd like. For now, we're just going to hit on the preview mode button. So this will give you an idea as to what the email looks like so far. Of course, a bunch of it's empty down at the bottom, but so far so good. I do like the way that it's looking. You also have the option to look at the mobile version as well. And again, so far so good. So we're going to exit the preview mode and get back to creating the email. So for the next section, I would like to create a title along with the latest blog posts found on the website. So first, I'd like to start off with a title. So I'm going to drag and drop the text block over onto the email. And we'll go ahead and give it a title here. And just like we did before, we're going to go ahead and highlight the title and give it an appropriate style. So the section up here, I believe it used a heading 2, which might be a little big for one of the subtitles in the email. So I'm going to go ahead and try heading 3. I think that works. It's a little bit smaller. And again, I'm going to center it and then hit save and close. As you can see right now, it's kind of squished between the first section here and the next section that we're going to start building. So I'm going to go ahead and add a divider. We can go ahead and pull a divider in, and we'll put one on top of the title. By default, it is a solid line, which you could keep as is. So for example, if we hit save, I do think that it does look good in this case because it does separate the two sections. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm also going to add another divider underneath the title. So let's go ahead and pull another one in. But this time, let's change it from solid to none. And then that way it just creates a bit of space for us. But oddly enough, it's a little too much space, I think, so we can go ahead and edit the amount of pixels. Okay, let's go ahead and hit save. And we'll go ahead and insert our latest blog posts. And I'm actually going to get rid of this section here. I'm not going to end up using it after all. All right, so getting back to the blog posts, we're going to go ahead and use the image and text block again. So let's drag and drop it over to the left-hand side here. But this time we're going to use a bit of a different layout. So head on up to the right-hand side and click on Settings. And I would like to have the image on the left and the text on the right. So let's go ahead and get back to our content here. And just like we did for the events, we're going to replace the image along with the text and add a link. Now you'll notice that it has been giving us this error message again, asking us to resize the images. Now I'm not going to do it for this tutorial because that'll just take too much time. I will go through and edit all of them after the fact. But if you do see this error, go ahead and click on the Let's Fix It link and fix your images. So now that the image is in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the title in, along with a brief description that will hopefully entice people to click on it and go and read the full blog post over on the website. Next, we'll go ahead and make the title bold so that it stands out a little bit. All right, so I like the way that that looks. I'm going to go ahead and hit save and close. Next, I would like to add a link that's going to take the user over to the website to read the full blog post. So first, we'll add the link to the image here. And then hit insert. And then I'm just going to add a simple read more link to the text. So to add a link to text, we simply highlight it and then click on the link icon here, or you can simply hit the shortcut key, which is Command K or Control K if you're on a PC. From there, we'll enter our link and then hit insert. So I'm just going to fine tune the text again to make it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to add space between the description and the link here. And then I'm going to add a little more text just to kind of fill up the area and make sure that the 2022 text isn't on its own. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and save. I would like to add 2 more blog posts, so I'm going to go ahead and hit duplicate twice. So there we have 3 different spots for 3 different blog posts. So we'll go ahead and start swapping out the content. Now you can click on the edit icon here, or simply click anywhere inside the box or the block to edit. So we'll start off by replacing the image here. Next, we'll go ahead and replace the link. And while I have the link copied, I'm going to go ahead and replace the read more link as well. So again, we can click on the link icon or hit Control or Command K. So we'll go ahead and replace that. And then we'll add the updated title and description. I do already have a short description that exists on the website, so I'm going to go ahead and copy it and just paste it. As you can see over here on the left-hand side, it's getting a little bit long. So I'm going to go ahead and shorten some of the text. It's also a good idea to try to keep the same layout from block to block. So for example, up here, the title is on 2 lines and then the description is on 3. You obviously don't have to do that for each block, but it does create a nicer layout and it's just more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and try and fit the title onto 2 lines here. And then I will also shorten the description, especially since the read more link is underneath the image. That doesn't look very nice, so let's bring it up a bit. All right, and then we'll go ahead and do the third one, and that'll be it for the blog posts. So again, we'll replace the image. All right, and I've got the link copied over here. So I'll go ahead and paste it. And I'll take care of the read more link as well. Last but not least, we'll go ahead and update the text. I'll go ahead and grab the description from the website and just paste it into the email here. Now again, it is a bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and shorten it. And then add that extra space between the description and the read more link. So let's go ahead and preview the email so far. And we're just going to switch it to desktop. And to recap, we've gone ahead and added the logo, the header image, the dates from the calendar that's found on the website, along with the latest blog posts. Now the last section that we're going to add is the educational content. And to keep things nice and neat, we're going to go ahead and duplicate the divider line here, along with this title. So let's go ahead and click on the duplicate block icon. And from there, we'll go ahead and just drag the divider down. Same thing with the title. We'll go ahead and duplicate it and then drag it down. And of course, duplicating and dragging things down is much easier than creating it again from scratch. Plus, you can make sure that the styling is the exact same. So let's go ahead and edit it by clicking on the edit icon. And essentially what we're going to do here is add in the pages or blog posts that have to do with education. So we'll go ahead and use that image and text block again. And this time we're going to go ahead and leave it as the default layout here. So let's go ahead and upload an image. And if you find that the image isn't quite the right size, we can go ahead and click on the edit link here. And we can play around with the dimensions of the image. As you can see over on the left-hand side, there are pre-made ratios or dimensions. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one here. Once you're happy with the sizing, click on the Save button up in the top right corner. And that way the image isn't so big on this email. Once we're done with the image, we can go ahead and replace the text. And again, because we're grabbing content from the website, we can often copy and paste the text over. And then if you need to, go ahead and edit it. I'll go ahead and make the text bold so that it stands out a bit. And last but not least, I'll go ahead and grab the link from the website and then add it to both the image and the text. Once you're happy with it, go ahead and click on the Save and Close button. And that's actually the last thing that I will be adding to this email campaign inside the body portion of it anyways. And because some of this text came with the template, I'll go ahead and just delete the parts that I didn't end up using. So the last thing we're going to do within the email is update the social media links within the footer. As you can see, there are social media icons here. Let's go ahead and click on the edit icon. And from there, we'll just replace the URLs. So in this case, there isn't a Facebook link. So we'll just go ahead and click the X here to get rid of it. There is an Instagram and a Twitter. So I'll go ahead and replace these. If you would like to add another social media account, you can go ahead and click on the Add Another Service button down at the bottom. Choose the social media that you'd like to add. And then enter the link. You can also then drag and drop the different icons around and simply to reorder them. Next, I'll go ahead and enter the website URL. You can also play around with the way that the icons look by heading up to the Settings tab. From there, you've got options like the display, whether you want icon only, text only, or both icon and text. You can also make them bigger. And you can play around with the style. So go ahead and play around with them and choose a style that you like. Once you're done, hit the Save and Close button. So let's go ahead and preview our email one last time. Head on up to the Preview and Test area here and click on Enter Preview Mode. And this is what the email newsletter is going to look like. And we can go ahead and check out the mobile again. And don't worry too much about the funny looking text here. This is dynamic content that Mailchimp pulls in. So for example, current year, as you would guess, is the current year. List company is going to be your company name, or whatever you put in the company name field when setting up your account, and so on. So if we're happy with our email, we can go ahead and exit there. And that's it. You've now got a Mailchimp template that you can use for your weekly newsletters. Once you're happy with your newsletter, you can go ahead and click Save and Exit in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll want to give it a name. Once you do, hit the Save button. So as you can see here, under templates, we now have a weekly newsletter that we've just created. The great thing about building email templates is that it's going to save you time. Plus, reusing email templates for reoccurring newsletters will create a more familiar user experience for your audience. If you found this Mailchimp tutorial helpful, please do give it a like and subscribe for more email marketing tutorials as well as digital marketing videos.